This is Paul at Shoestring Shipyard Sailing, and I hope you enjoy watching this video. The Muffin Thing. You know, the Muffin Thing. What is the Muffin Thing? You don't know? Guess I should explain. Well, the Muffin Thing started many years ago when I lived on Cape Cod. Back then I had a yacht design practice in a wooden boat shop adjacent to my design office. And, well, a good buddy of mine that lived only about half a mile away, his name was Captain Ed Koskela, or just Captain Ed is what everybody called him. And he was a yacht broker. And he and I were pretty much best friends. And, well, I got a lot of work through Ed. Ed would, refer me, some of his clients that were interested in buying boats, and I'd go do yacht surveys. Sometimes I would look at a boat for him to give him an appraisal, give him an idea of what was going on. And I used to go out with Ed on his boat. He had a Mackenzie bass boat, and Ed was the vice commodore of the Mackenzie Boat Club back then. And Mackenzies, if you're not familiar with them, they're lapstrake, wood lapstrake bass boats, and they came in a variety of sizes. And they were made by a guy named Bud Mackenzie years ago, and they became a collector type thing. And a boat club was formed, and they were very similar to the lapstrake Lymans of the period, but these were all hand built by Bud Mackenzie. So anyway, in Onset, Massachusetts, not far from where we lived in the town of Bourne, a place opened up, a coffee shop called Cup of the Bay, and it was opened by Kathy Leary and her husband, and her sister Ann also helped run it. And Kathy came from a background in not only customer service but tourism and making people feel welcome from resort areas, that sort of thing. And so she was excellent. She could remember everybody's name. It was sort of like Cheers without the alcohol. Instead of going in for a beer, you went in for your coffee. And she had all the fancy coffees and all kinds of fresh baked goods. And we got in the habit of going over there because Onset has a nice little harbor, and we'd go over there and check the boats. Ed and I would get together in the afternoon, and we'd drive on over and grab a cup of coffee and maybe a muffin. And so after a while, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, everybody knew everybody knew your name, and so a little social gathering in the afternoon. And we'd go to Cup of the Bay and have our daily coffee and muffin, probably a big blueberry muffin or cranberry muffin or something like that. And so we started calling it the Muffin Thing. Instead of going out for a cup of coffee or whatever, we knew we were going to Cup of the Bay. And Ed would drop by my office and say, "Hey, you ready to go do the Muffin Thing?" Or I might go over to his office, his yacht brokerage office, and I'd ask him, "Yeah, you ready to go do the Muffin Thing, bud?" And we'd jump in the truck, either my truck or his, and go on over and do it. And then after that, we'd probably go over to one of the marinas and check out a few boats and that sort of thing. And so that's how the Muffin Thing was born. And then later on, a few years later, I met my wife, my current wife, Susan, and I introduced her to the Muffin Thing, and she jumped right into that. And so every afternoon, Susan would go with me, and she'd have her fancy little biscottis and fancy coffees and all that. And she's not a cheap date. She got those fancy, expensive coffees, and still does. But anyway, it was a good time, and we did it all the time on a regular basis. And that's where I always met Ed, almost every day. So that is the Muffin Thing. So just a short video to fill you in on what that is. And I really miss having a Cup of the Bay, because right here in Milbridge, we don't have a coffee shop like that. I mean, if we had a little coffee shop / bakery, where people go in, sit down at the counter, everybody knew everybody, that'd be great. We just don't have that. And so I really miss Cup of the Bay. I wish Kathy Leary had transplanted herself up here to Maine, and we'd be doing good. But anyway, just a short video to fill you in on that, and also to let you know, I haven't been posting videos the past few months. I didn't get anything done on my sailboat build. A combination of weather, inclement weather, it's just constant rain this past season, and interspersed with a number of surgical procedures I had to have done and recovery periods, and so the boat never even became uncovered from last winter. It still has the winter covering from last year on it, and now we're going into the next winter. So I'm going to try to get better, start posting a few other videos, some little how-tos and things, and then in the spring, a few months from now, I'll get the boat uncovered and continued where I left off. So I'm sorry for all the delays. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed and stayed with me. I mean, I'm amazed that so many of you haven't left already, but I do appreciate it. Please hang in there. I'll try to get better. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a like. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and ring the little bell and share the video. I appreciate it. It really does help the channel as I try to promote it and build it, one video at a time. Thanks again.